Horatio Nelson was born on September 29, 1758, in a quaint village nestled in Norfolk, England. The son of Edmund Nelson, a minister, and Catherine, who hailed from a family with naval connections, Nelson was the sixth of 11 children. He displayed a robust character from a young age. Tragically, his mother passed away when he was just 9, a turning point that profoundly influenced his young life. From his earliest days, Nelson was regaled with tales of the sea by his uncle, Maurice Suckling, a captain in the Royal Navy. These stories ignited a spark within Nelson, kindling a burning interest in naval pursuits. At the tender age of 12, an opportunity arose for Nelson to join his uncle aboard the ship Raisonnable, marking the commencement of an extraordinary journey. The life of a sailor, particularly for a boy, was fraught with challenges. Nelson had to quickly adapt to this rugged life, far removed from the comforts of home. His determination and courage shone through as he rapidly proved his mettle. His maiden voyages took him to the West Indies, the Arctic, and the Indian Ocean, where he encountered trials such as seasickness, extreme weather, and the inherent perils of maritime life. Yet, these hardships only served to fortify his resolve and hone his skills. Nelson's story, however, was not solely defined by his time at sea. He spent meaningful periods in Norfolk with his family and received education at Potton Grammar School and Norwich School. These intervals of learning and growth were instrumental in his development. His family, ever supportive of his ambitions, remained a cornerstone of his life, despite their concerns for his well-being. These formative years laid the groundwork for the remarkable leader he was destined to become, instilling in him the virtues of leadership and bravery, alongside the necessary skills for a life at sea. Yet, it wasn't just his family and schooling that shaped the young Nelson. After his mother's death, his father, now solely responsible for a large family, made a pivotal decision. He sent Nelson to live with his uncle, Captain Maurice Suckling, a figure of respect in naval circles. This move was instrumental in molding Nelson's future. Under Suckling's tutelage, Nelson embarked on his maiden voyage aboard the warship Raisonnable, immersing himself in naval life. Nelson's education extended beyond the confines of a ship. He pursued studies at Potton Grammar School and Norwich School, where he was grounded in subjects like mathematics, history, and literature. However, his true passion lay in the adventurous tales of the sea. His uncle's accounts of naval exploits and oceanic adventures captivated him, fueling his desire for a maritime career. Despite the rigors of naval training and challenges like seasickness, Nelson's resolve never wavered. Distinguished by his keen intellect and eagerness to learn, he embarked on voyages to distant lands, gaining exposure to diverse cultures and experiences. These journeys were as much about mastering navigation and ship management as they were about understanding leadership and the intricacies of naval warfare. During these crucial years, Nelson's natural charisma and leadership abilities came to the fore. He exhibited a remarkable capacity to inspire and lead, qualities that would become hallmarks of his naval career. The amalgamation of formal education, hands-on sea training, and his uncle's guidance prepared Nelson for the myriad challenges he would face in the Royal Navy. Marked by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, a profound love for the sea, and a burgeoning sense of destiny, Nelson's transition from an inquisitive boy to a skilled sailor laid the foundation for his eventual rise as one of history's most celebrated naval commanders. His early education and experiences at sea were pivotal in cultivating the skills and character that would propel him to extraordinary feats in his later life. Horatio Nelson's first experiences at sea were a blend of challenges and excitement. At the tender age of 12, he embarked on a grand adventure, joining the Royal Navy. His journey commenced aboard his uncle's ship, the Raisonnable, introducing him to the demanding life of a sailor. For Nelson, the sea represented a realm of unknowns and perils, yet it was also a canvas for glory and discovery. Life on the high seas was particularly arduous for someone as young as Nelson. He was thrust into learning the complexities of managing sails, navigating, and handling the ship under diverse weather conditions. The work was grueling, the environment often unforgiving. He contended with fierce winds, towering waves, and extended periods away from the familiar shores. Yet, in the face of these hardships, Nelson's bravery and eagerness to learn shone brightly. He embraced challenging tasks and was always at the ready to support his crewmates. One of his earliest significant experiences was a voyage to the West Indies. This trip not only exposed him to the immense expanse of the ocean and the intricacies of naval life but also broadened his worldview through encounters with diverse cultures and lands. More than just a lesson in seamanship, this journey was a formative experience in life skills. He navigated through fierce storms and the looming threat of enemy vessels, testing his mettle, honing his ability to remain composed under pressure, and making quick, decisive judgments, skills imperative for his future naval endeavors. These initial years at sea were also a time for Nelson to start carving out his leadership identity. He learned the art of collaboration, command, and motivating his crew. His innate leadership qualities began to emerge, earning him respect from fellow sailors and trust from his superiors. These formative years were pivotal, molding him into a competent sailor and a potential leader, preparing him for more substantial roles in the Navy. His early sea experiences laid a solid foundation for his legendary naval career, imparting essential skills and resilience. As Nelson progressed in his naval career, he quickly evolved from a young sailor into a respected naval officer. His talent and dedication did not go unnoticed, leading to increased responsibilities and a steady climb through the ranks of the Royal Navy. Each new assignment brought fresh challenges, but Nelson's zeal for learning and self-improvement never waned. His career took him to varied locales, from the icy Arctic to the sun-drenched Caribbean, each journey replete with both peril and exhilaration. He mastered navigation through treacherous icebergs, engaged in combat with formidable enemy ships, braved storms, faced battles, and overcame health adversities, all while displaying remarkable courage and resilience. A notable early assignment was a scientific expedition to the Arctic, demanding both skill and bravery given the region's mystery and dangers. Nelson played a crucial role in this mission, demonstrating exceptional leadership and navigation abilities. This experience was invaluable in teaching him about managing tough situations and making swift decisions. In the Caribbean, Nelson encountered a different set of challenges. He grappled with the extreme climate, tropical diseases, and threats from pirates and enemy ships. These Caribbean experiences were critical in his development, deepening his understanding of naval warfare, strategy, and diplomacy with local leaders. Nelson's early naval years were not solely about combat and exploration. He also learned the essentials of daily naval life, including crew management, ship maintenance, and resource allocation. Known for his concern for his crew's welfare, he ensured they were well-trained, healthy, and battle-ready. During this period, Nelson also faced personal trials. He often yearned for his family and struggled with the loneliness that came with life at sea. However, he found solace in his duties and the camaraderie among his fellow sailors. This time was not just about professional growth but also personal development, shaping him as a leader and individual. These early years in Nelson's naval career were instrumental in setting the stage for his later monumental achievements. He gained invaluable experience, built a formidable reputation, and honed the skills that would later crown him as one of Britain's most esteemed naval heroes. His determination, leadership, and bravery in these formative years were just the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would elevate him to the highest echelons of the Royal Navy and secure his legacy in history. Horatio Nelson's ascent to his first command was a testament to his unwavering determination and skill. After excelling in various roles within the Royal Navy, Nelson was entrusted with the command of his own ship. This milestone in his career wasn't just a promotion. It symbolized a recognition of his leadership, bravery, and mastery in naval warfare. His inaugural command was the HMS Agamemnon, a formidable 64 gunship. Assuming command of the Agamemnon was a significant undertaking, particularly for someone as young as Nelson. He approached this role with a mix of excitement and a deep understanding of the responsibilities it entailed. As captain, he was the guardian of the ship, its crew, and their collective success in battle. What set Nelson apart was his unique approach to leadership. He wasn't just a figure of authority, he was a leader who genuinely cared for his crew, believing in thorough training, respect, and leading by example. This approach fostered deep respect and loyalty among his men, creating a bond of mutual dedication that was crucial to their collective success. Under Nelson's command, the HMS Agamemnon played a pivotal role in numerous key naval battles. His first major test as captain came during the War of the First Coalition against France, where he had to maneuver through intricate political and military landscapes, often making challenging decisions. In every encounter, his tactical acumen and bravery were unmistakably apparent. He steered his ship and crew through perilous conditions, always maintaining a composed and assured demeanor. This phase also marked a period of innovation for Nelson in naval tactics. Unafraid to experiment with new strategies, his creative thinking and adaptability often led to remarkable successes, distinguishing him as a standout naval commander. Beyond professional growth, this era was also significant for Nelson's personal development. He encountered numerous personal challenges, including health issues and injuries, but remained undeterred. His focus steadfastly remained on his duty to his country and his commitment to his crew. Nelson's tenure in command of the HMS Agamemnon was more than a career progression. It was a phase of intense skill refinement, reputation building, and proving his mettle as one of the Royal Navy's most adept and innovative officers. His leadership during this period laid the groundwork for his future triumphs and his enduring legacy as one of Britain's most esteemed naval heroes. His tenure on the Agamemnon stood as a testament to his valor, skill, and unwavering dedication, hallmarks that would define his illustrious naval career. As Nelson advanced in his naval career, his journey was marked by invaluable leadership lessons. With increased responsibilities came deeper insights into not just naval tactics but also the art of inspiring and guiding his crew. Nelson's leadership ethos was rooted in leading by example. He was always in the thick of the action, sharing in the risks and challenges with his men. This solidarity earned him the deep respect and loyalty of his sailors, who knew he would never ask of them what he wouldn't do himself. Nelson's approach to leadership was distinguished by his open communication. He engaged in discussions with his crew, valuing their opinions and fostering a sense of inclusivity. This approach was instrumental in maintaining morale, especially during trying times. He also placed great emphasis on the well-being of his sailors. Ensuring they had sufficient resources, rest, and medical care was paramount for Nelson, understanding that a content and healthy crew was vital for success. This concern for his men's welfare was relatively rare at the time, highlighting him as a compassionate and thoughtful leader. Adaptability emerged as a crucial leadership trait for Nelson. The sea's unpredictability meant rapid shifts in circumstances, requiring swift and effective decision-making. Nelson excelled in adapting to these changes, often turning challenging situations to his advantage through calculated risks. Strategic thinking was another cornerstone of Nelson's leadership. More than a courageous sailor, he was a brilliant strategist, dedicating time to study and plan, always seeking improvement. His innovative tactics often caught enemies off guard, underpinning many of his victories. Nelson's journey was also characterized by relentless determination and resilience. He confronted setbacks and obstacles with an unyielding spirit, inspiring his crew and instilling a belief in their collective capability to triumph. Nelson's experiences shaped him into a leader of courage, compassion, and intelligence. These attributes not only cemented his status as a great naval commander but also as a revered figure among his crew and a respected leader in British history. His approach to leadership, marked by bravery, strategic insight, and genuine care for his sailors, set a benchmark for others to emulate. Nelson's leadership lessons transcended mere battle tactics. They were about inspiring and leading people, a legacy that endures beyond his era. The personal life of Horatio Nelson, particularly his marriage, played a significant role in shaping his story. In 1787, Nelson wed Frances Nisbet, affectionately known as Fanny. Their meeting in the Caribbean island of Nevis, where Nelson was stationed, seemed like a tale plucked from a novel. Fanny, a young widow with a son from her previous marriage, captured Nelson's heart, leading to a love-fueled decision to marry. Fanny's charm, kindness, and caring nature deeply resonated with Nelson. Their wedding, a grand affair on the island, marked a period of profound happiness for him. Yet, Nelson's marriage was immediately tested by the demands of his naval career. His prolonged absences at sea placed a strain on their relationship, a hardship felt keenly by both Nelson and Fanny. Their correspondence, filled with expressions of love and longing, served as a lifeline during these periods of separation. Nelson's letters brimmed with accounts of his sea life and aspirations for the future, while Fanny's replies offered unwavering support and pride in his accomplishments. As Nelson's career ascended, so too did his commitment to his naval duties, further challenging the couple's domestic life. Fanny often found herself managing their home in solitude, longing for Nelson's return. Despite these difficulties, they strove to sustain their bond, with Nelson regarding Fanny as his haven and source of solace. The challenges of Nelson's marriage were compounded by his escalating fame and naval prominence. His increasingly public life and integral role in pivotal naval battles and missions made normalcy in their marital life elusive. Both Nelson and Fanny had to acclimatize to a reality where his role as a national hero often superseded their personal lives. Their marriage, though fraught with challenges, was a crucial element of Nelson's life, offering him stability and love. Fanny's support and care were pillars of strength for Nelson, even as their relationship grappled with the rigors of his career. This phase of Nelson's life underscores the complexities that accompanied his journey, where personal and professional spheres intertwined, each leaving a profound impact on him. Nelson's personal life, away from his public image as a naval hero, revealed a man with a life rich in love, challenges, and human complexities. His relationship with Fanny illuminated a tender, loving aspect of Nelson, distinct from his public persona of battle and fame. Their marriage was not merely a chapter in his personal narrative, it reflected the depth and humanity of a man who, despite his legendary status, experienced the universal trials and joys of love and companionship. Beyond the tumult of naval life, Nelson relished the serenity of his times at home in England. Here, with Fanny and their close-knit circle of friends and family, Nelson found a respite from the rigors of his naval duties. These moments, though infrequent, were cherished, offering a stark contrast to his life at sea. Nelson's affinity for the countryside and nature was evident in his leisurely pursuits. Long walks through the picturesque English landscape provided him with moments of reflection and tranquility, a welcome reprieve from his demanding career. Gardening, too, was a source of joy for Nelson, allowing him to immerse himself in the peaceful rhythm of nature. Despite his stature as a naval luminary, Nelson was admired for his humility and approachability in his personal life. He delighted in life's simple pleasures and deeply valued the time spent with his family and friends. His bond with his family, especially his father and siblings, was a cornerstone of his personal life, offering a supportive and comforting presence throughout his journey. Nelson's involvement in community affairs reflected another facet of his personality. His generosity and compassionate nature shone through his engagement with local communities, highlighting his desire to positively impact the lives of others. However, the call of duty often cut short these peaceful interludes, drawing Nelson back to the sea. Each departure was laden with emotion, as he left behind the tranquility of home for the demands of naval service. This dichotomy defined Nelson's life, a revered commander at sea and a devoted family man ashore. Nelson's health, too, was a constant concern, with various ailments, some exacerbated by his naval service, challenging his resilience. His unwavering spirit in the face of these health struggles further underscored his remarkable character. In essence, Nelson's life off the sea was as layered and compelling as his naval exploits. It was a life marked by quiet moments, family bonds, community involvement, and personal interests. These aspects of his life provided a counterbalance to his public persona, offering a window into the rich tapestry of his character. Nelson's off-sea life was an integral part of his identity, shaping his legacy as one of history's most celebrated naval commanders. Horatio Nelson's assignments in the Mediterranean were pivotal in shaping his naval career, with the Corsican Campaign emerging as one of his earliest significant challenges. This campaign, set against the backdrop of the idyllic Mediterranean island of Corsica, was a critical episode in the French Revolutionary Wars. Commanding the HMS Agamemnon, Nelson played a key role in the British efforts to liberate Corsica from French control. This mission extended beyond traditional naval engagements, demanding intricate strategy and close collaboration with ground forces. Nelson's arrival in Corsica in 1794 marked the beginning of a complex military endeavor. The British objective was to support the Corsican struggle for independence from France. In this campaign, Nelson's responsibilities were multifaceted, involving the orchestration of naval operations and providing vital support to land forces. His leadership and naval expertise were put to the test in this demanding theater of war. The campaign entailed a series of rigorous tasks, including blockading French ports, ferrying troops, and engaging in coastal battles. A defining moment for Nelson during the Corsican campaign was the arduous siege of Calvi. This battle proved challenging, as British forces attempted to seize control of the heavily fortified town. Nelson's strategic input was crucial, particularly in directing naval bombardment to bolster the army's offensive. It was in the midst of this siege that Nelson endured a life-altering injury, losing the sight in his right eye. Despite this significant personal loss, he continued his duties with undiminished zeal, epitomizing resilience and commitment. This injury not only marked a pivotal turn in his life but also cemented his status as a war hero who had made profound sacrifices for his nation. The Corsican campaign was more than a series of military engagements for Nelson. It was a period of profound professional development. He gained invaluable insights into joint military operations, learning to integrate naval power in support of land-based combat, a relatively novel concept at the time. His innovative tactics and adaptability in diverse combat scenarios were prominently displayed throughout this campaign. Nelson's tenure in Corsica also highlighted his adeptness in navigating political and diplomatic arenas. His interactions with local leaders and the Corsican populace earned him widespread respect and support. In this context, his diplomatic acumen was as crucial as his military prowess. The successful conclusion of the Corsican campaign, with Nelson playing a significant role, was a testament to his growing expertise. The experiences and lessons gleaned during this period were instrumental in his evolution as a naval commander, preparing him for future challenges. This campaign underscored his courage, tactical ingenuity, and capacity to surmount personal adversity. Nelson's role in the Corsican campaign was a defining chapter in his naval journey, showcasing his leadership, resilience, and strategic brilliance, elements that shaped his legacy as a naval hero. The Battle of Genoa, another landmark event in Nelson's Mediterranean assignments, unfolded in 1795 and marked a crucial chapter in his illustrious naval tenure. As part of the broader conflict against Napoleonic France, this battle saw Nelson aboard the Agamemnon, playing a central role in the British fleet's campaign against French naval forces in the Mediterranean. The Battle of Genoa was more than a maritime confrontation. It was a strategic maneuver aimed at curtailing France's regional influence. As the British fleet navigated the waters near Genoa, Nelson and his crew braced for a formidable challenge. The French fleet was a formidable adversary, and the stakes were considerable. The British strategy focused on disrupting French naval operations and severing their supply routes. Renowned for his tactical acumen, Nelson was poised to leverage his expertise to outflank the French. The ensuing battle was marked by intense exchanges of gunfire. The Agamemnon, under Nelson's command, was at the forefront, engaging enemy vessels with precision and determination. Nelson's leadership was a linchpin during the battle, as he galvanized his crew with his intrepidity and strategic insights. Despite facing a daunting opponent, Nelson's crew fought with valiant tenacity. A highlight of the battle was Nelson's quick-witted decision-making, often catching the French unawares with his astute maneuvers. His strategic moves during the battle were a testament to his naval ingenuity, adeptly balancing offensive and defensive tactics. The Battle of Genoa was a grueling test for Nelson and his crew, challenging them not only against the enemy's might but also against the capriciousness of the sea. The turbulent waters and unpredictable weather added layers of complexity to the battle. However, Nelson's seasoned experience, coupled with his crew's training and valor, steered them through these multifaceted challenges. Although the battle did not culminate in a decisive victory for either side, it underscored Nelson's formidable capabilities as a naval commander. His actions inflicted considerable damage on the French fleet and underscored the British Navy's prowess in the Mediterranean. The battle further bolstered Nelson's reputation as a fearless leader and a master tactician. The Battle of Genoa was a critical phase in Nelson's development as a naval commander, rigorously testing his strategic acumen, leadership, and combat skills. The battle also offered valuable lessons in naval warfare and the importance of versatility in combat. This engagement, alongside his other Mediterranean experiences, was instrumental in molding Nelson into the legendary figure he is remembered as today. His conduct in Genoa exemplified his tactical expertise, courage, and unwavering commitment, attributes that would define his enduring legacy as one of history's most esteemed naval commanders. The Battle of Cape St. Vincent stands as a defining moment in Horatio Nelson's naval career, a chapter replete with tension, strategy, and decisive action. In early 1797, the British Royal Navy, Nelson's proud service, was on high alert. Spain, allied with France, had mobilized a formidable fleet, threatening British interests. The British, led by Admiral Sir John Jervis, were intent on intercepting the Spanish fleet before it could reinforce the French in the Mediterranean. Nelson, commanding the HMS Captain, was a vital cog in Jervis's strategy. Despite being outnumbered, the British fleet was resolute, their determination steered by Nelson's strategic acumen and bold tactics. Their mission was clear: to intercept the Spanish fleet near Cape St. Vincent, a crucial juncture off the Portuguese coast. The journey to Cape St. Vincent was charged with anticipation. The sailors, acutely aware of the looming battle, were buoyed by Nelson's confidence and meticulous preparation. He honed their readiness through rigorous training, his leadership a beacon of assurance in uncertain times. The days leading up to the confrontation were marked by strategic navigation and unrelenting vigilance. The British fleet's movements were a delicate dance of positioning, skillfully avoiding detection while seeking the most advantageous encounter. Nelson's naval prowess shone during this period, his keen eye for detail and strategic foresight guiding their course. As the battle drew near, the tension aboard the British fleet escalated. Nelson understood that the forthcoming clash would test their mettle, demanding not only superior naval skills but also strategic cunning to outsmart the enemy. His readiness to embrace risk underscored his commitment to gaining the upper hand. When the battle dawned, Nelson and the British fleet were primed for engagement. Their objective was unambiguous: to thwart the Spanish fleet and safeguard Britain's maritime dominance. The Battle of Cape St. Vincent was poised to be a stern test of Nelson's tactical prowess and the British Navy's fortitude. The lead-up to the Battle of Cape St. Vincent was a time of strategic maneuvering, preparation, and mounting anticipation. These moments underscored Nelson's capacity for leadership, his ability to inspire his crew, and his strategic ingenuity, setting the stage for one of the most significant naval battles in his storied career and further cementing his legacy as a formidable naval commander. On February 14, 1797, the Battle of Cape St. Vincent unfolded, etching Horatio Nelson's heroism into the annals of history. The British fleet, under Admiral Jervis's command, confronted a numerically superior Spanish fleet off the Portuguese coast. Nelson, aboard the HMS Captain, braced for action. As the battle commenced, the British executed a daring plan to sever the Spanish fleet. This strategy demanded precision and audacity, qualities Nelson possessed in abundance. In the thick of battle, the HMS Captain clashed fiercely with Spanish ships. Amidst the cannonade and chaos, Nelson made a pivotal decision. Defying conventional tactics, he steered directly into the Spanish formation, a move that exemplified his tactical brilliance. His objective was clear: to sow confusion among the Spanish ranks and seize the advantage. Nelson's audacious strategy paid off. He successfully isolated several Spanish vessels, disrupting their formation and allowing the British to engage more effectively. The captain, under Nelson's command, valiantly faced multiple enemy ships, its crew fighting with unyielding determination and skill. A highlight of Nelson's heroism was his encounter with the San Nicolas and the San Joseph. After intense combat, Nelson led a boarding assault on the San Nicolas. In a display of extraordinary bravery, he and his men overpowered the Spanish crew and seized the ship. Without hesitation, Nelson then led his men to the adjacent San Joseph, capturing it as well. This extraordinary feat, later known as Nelson's patent bridge for boarding first rates, was a testament to his courage and leadership. Nelson's valor at the Battle of Cape St. Vincent garnered widespread admiration and accolades. His tactical ingenuity and willingness to lead from the front were instrumental in the British victory. He inspired his men with his bravery and strategic acumen, earning their unwavering loyalty. The battle marked a significant triumph for the British Navy, thwarting the Spanish fleet's attempt to unite with the French and showcasing British naval prowess. Nelson emerged from this engagement as a national hero, his actions at Cape St. Vincent defining his career and solidifying his status as one of history's greatest naval commanders. His leadership in the battle exemplified his exceptional qualities as a strategist, a leader, and a dedicated patriot. In 1798, the Battle of the Nile, also known as the Battle of Aboukir Bay, unfolded as a pivotal event in Horatio Nelson's illustrious career and a significant turning point in the Napoleonic Wars. This confrontation showcased Nelson's exceptional naval tactics and leadership. The British, under Nelson's command, were set on challenging the French fleet, anchored in Egypt's Aboukir Bay, a crucial support to Napoleon's military endeavors in the region. Their presence in these waters represented a grave threat to British interests. Nelson, at the helm of a British fleet, had been relentlessly tracking the French across the Mediterranean. His discovery of the French fleet at Aboukir Bay presented a formidable challenge. The French, led by Admiral Brueys, had positioned themselves defensively, anchored close to the shore, seemingly secure and difficult to assail. Yet, it was Nelson's strategic acumen that turned the tide. He discerned an opportunity where others saw impasse, devising a bold plan to assail the French in an unexpected manner. He noticed a gap between the French ships and the shore's shallows, a pathway he resolved to exploit, sailing his ships through this space to assail the French from both flanks. This maneuver was laden with risks, necessitating precise navigation, yet Nelson's faith in his fleet's capabilities was unwavering. This approach was not solely about the surprise element, it was a strategy to maximize the British fleet's efficacy. Nelson aimed to engage the French in close quarters, where his sailors' superior training and discipline could be leveraged. His plan sought to isolate and neutralize the French ships sequentially, rather than confronting the entire fleet simultaneously. As they prepared for battle, Nelson's indomitable spirit and confidence suffused his crew. They trusted his strategic insight, ready to embark on this perilous venture. The plan required impeccable timing and coordination, which Nelson communicated with clarity to his captains. On the night of August 1, 1798, the British fleet launched its audacious assault. The surprise of their approach played to their advantage, catching the French unprepared. The British ships, navigating the gap between the French line and the shore, unleashed a ferocious barrage. Nelson's tactic of flanking the French disrupted their defense, plunging them into disarray. This battle was not just a testament to Nelson's tactical genius, it was an embodiment of his valor and resolve. He embraced risk, innovating under pressure to secure victory. His leadership in the Battle of the Nile was a masterclass in naval warfare, transforming a challenging situation into a monumental triumph. This victory emerged as one of Nelson's most celebrated, significantly diminishing French naval power in the Mediterranean and elevating the British Navy's stature. As darkness enveloped the Mediterranean on August 1, 1798, the Battle of the Nile commenced, culminating in a resounding triumph for Horatio Nelson and the British Navy. This engagement was a testament to Nelson's naval mastery, profoundly influencing the trajectory of the Napoleonic Wars. The British fleet, implementing Nelson's strategy, navigated the narrow channel between the French line and the shoreline, catching the French unawares. Under the shroud of night, the battle intensified, marked by the roar of cannons and the glow of gunfire. The British fleet's onslaught was relentless. They engaged the French on both sides, inflicting severe damage. The French, hemmed in and unable to maneuver, faced dire circumstances. The British sailors, exemplifying courage and tactical prowess, gradually overpowered the French. The French flagship, L'Orient, became a focal point of the battle. Subjected to sustained bombardment, it eventually succumbed to flames. The ensuing explosion of L'Orient was a dramatic turning point, demoralizing the French and galvanizing the British forces. With dawn breaking, the magnitude of the British victory became evident. Most of the French fleet lay captured or destroyed, a crippling blow to Napoleon's naval ambitions. This victory was more than a tactical feat, it had far-reaching strategic implications, thwarting Napoleon's designs in the Middle East and affirming British dominance in the Mediterranean. Nelson emerged from the Battle of the Nile as a celebrated hero, his reputation as a preeminent naval commander solidified. This victory underscored his strategic brilliance, bold leadership, and indomitable spirit. His men's admiration for him was boundless, inspired by his valor and tactical acumen. The Battle of the Nile reverberated far beyond the confines of Aboukir Bay, bolstering British morale and prestige, and dealing a significant blow to Napoleonic ambitions. It illuminated Nelson's extraordinary command skills and his vital role in securing British naval supremacy. The victory at the Nile stood as a defining moment in Nelson's career, a seminal chapter in naval warfare history, testament to his strategic vision, bravery, and the discipline and valor of his sailors. Following the resounding success at the Battle of the Nile, Horatio Nelson made his triumphant return to Britain, where a hero's welcome awaited him. The country was abuzz with the news of his victory, celebrating him as a national icon. His strategic mastery and valor in battle had secured not only a pivotal victory for Britain but had also significantly enhanced the nation's naval prestige. As Nelson's vessel neared the British shores, throngs of people from diverse backgrounds congregated to welcome the naval victor. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and national pride. Upon disembarking, Nelson was met with a surge of cheers, applause, and profound admiration. The public's overwhelming affection and respect were a testament to his stature as a national hero. In London, the celebration of Nelson's return was a grand affair, marked by festivities and high honors. He was lauded by the king, government officials, and a jubilant populace. Streets overflowed with eager crowds, all vying for a glimpse of the celebrated naval commander. Nelson had transcended his military role, embodying the spirit of British resilience and strength. His victory at the Nile had invigorated the nation during a turbulent period of war. The accolades showered upon Nelson post his return were not just ceremonial. He received titles and accolades that recognized and celebrated his service and achievements. These distinctions honored not only his battle prowess but also his unwavering dedication and leadership. Despite the adulation, Nelson retained his humility, recognizing that the victory was a collective achievement, born of the bravery and effort of his entire crew. Beyond the public celebrations, Nelson's return to Britain was also a time for personal reconnection. He spent cherished moments with his wife, Fanny, sharing tales of his maritime endeavors. These interludes were a solace for Nelson, who had been away from home for extended periods. Nelson's hero's welcome in Britain was more than a celebration of a military triumph, it was a recognition of his profound impact as a naval leader and a symbol of national pride. His return was a momentous occasion, highlighting his extraordinary contributions to British naval history and solidifying his place as one of the greatest naval commanders. Upon his return to Britain after the Nile victory, Nelson found himself thrust into the limelight, not only as a celebrated naval hero but also as a figure of significant social and political influence. His victory had catapulted him to a level of fame that extended well beyond military circles, immersing him in the nation's political and social fabric. Nelson's presence graced numerous social events, where he rubbed shoulders with influential politicians, aristocrats, and high society members. Despite his soaring fame, he maintained his humility and approachability, often surprising people with his unassuming nature. In political realms, Nelson was revered for his strategic acumen and deep understanding of naval affairs and warfare. Political leaders frequently sought his counsel on matters concerning the Navy and national defense. His insights, rooted in his vast experience and success against the French, were highly esteemed. However, Nelson approached the political landscape with caution, preferring to focus on his naval career rather than delve into political intricacies. Nelson's social life was further marked by his relationship with Emma Hamilton, the wife of Sir William Hamilton, the British ambassador to Naples. Their close and controversial relationship became a subject of widespread fascination and scandal. Nelson's interactions with the royal family were another aspect of his post-victory life. Esteemed by King George III and other royal members, his naval triumphs and service to the nation were highly regarded, further cementing his status as a national figure. Nelson also dedicated himself to supporting sailors and veterans, advocating for their welfare and championing their cause, utilizing his influence to highlight their needs and challenges. Nelson's return to Britain and his engagement in political and social spheres painted a picture of a man whose influence extended beyond naval conquests. His time in Britain was a rich tapestry of personal relationships, public appearances, and an ongoing commitment to his naval career and the well-being of his fellow sailors. In 1801, during the height of the Napoleonic Wars, Horatio Nelson took a leading role in the Copenhagen Campaign, a strategic operation that once again highlighted his remarkable naval prowess. This campaign was aimed at disrupting the League of Armed Neutrality, which comprised Russia, Denmark, Sweden, and Prussia. This alliance sought to break Britain's naval blockade against France, posing a substantial threat to British supremacy at sea. To counter this, the British focused their attention on Copenhagen, Denmark's vital port and naval stronghold. Nelson, serving as second-in-command under Admiral Sir Hyde Parker, was tasked with a critical component of this strategy, a preemptive strike against the Danish fleet at Copenhagen. This bold endeavor entailed attacking a neutral country, a decision driven by the necessity to dismantle the League and uphold British naval dominance. A decisive British victory here was essential to sending a resounding message to the League's members. The complexity of the Copenhagen campaign was matched only by Nelson's strategic acumen. He was well aware of the challenges ahead. The Danish fleet was fortified by shore batteries, and the waters around Copenhagen were notoriously treacherous. Nevertheless, Nelson formulated a daring plan, opting for a direct assault on the Danish fleet, a decision that highlighted his propensity for risk-taking. This approach required precise navigation through the perilous waters, a testament to Nelson's confidence in his fleet's capabilities. Nelson's strategy was multifaceted. Beyond the element of surprise, he sought to engage the Danish ships in close combat, leveraging the superior skill and discipline of his sailors. His plan to isolate and engage the enemy ships sequentially was a bold move, calculated to maximize the impact of his fleet's firepower. As the British fleet readied for battle, Nelson's leadership shone. His ability to inspire and rally his men was crucial, instilling in them the courage and resolve necessary for the impending challenge. The fleet's success hinged on perfect synchronization and execution of Nelson's plan, a responsibility he communicated with unwavering clarity to his captains. The Copenhagen campaign was more than a military operation. It was a test of Nelson's strategic insight, adaptability, and leadership under duress. The campaign's backdrop was laden with political and diplomatic nuances, adding layers to an already complex scenario. Nelson's approach mirrored his understanding of these intricacies, underscoring his unwavering commitment to securing a British victory. The Battle of Copenhagen, unfolding within the Copenhagen Campaign, was a defining episode in Nelson's career, showcasing his audacious leadership and strategic brilliance. On April 2, 1801, the British fleet, led by Nelson, confronted the formidable Danish-Norwegian fleet, bolstered by robust shore defenses. Nelson's strategy was aggressive and unconventional. He steered his ships through the narrow, treacherous waters near Copenhagen, directly engaging the enemy fleet. The battle was intense, marked by fierce exchanges of cannon fire. The British sailors, under Nelson's command, exhibited exceptional bravery and tactical skill, effectively maneuvering their ships and responding to the Danish onslaught. Amidst the chaos, Nelson, aboard HMS Elephant, directed the battle with adept precision, despite the looming danger. A pivotal moment occurred when Admiral Parker, observing from afar, signaled for Nelson to disengage, deeming the situation perilous. Nelson, in a legendary act of defiance, purportedly ignored the signal, famously quipping about his blind eye and continuing the attack. This crucial decision maintained the offensive's momentum. The British fleet's relentless assault gradually overwhelmed the Danish defenses. The Danish fleet and shore batteries, despite their formidable resistance, were outmatched by the British. The Danish forces eventually ceased fire, leading to a truce negotiation. The Battle of Copenhagen concluded with a decisive British victory, significantly impairing the Danish-Norwegian fleet's strength. The aftermath of the battle had far-reaching implications. The British triumph effectively dismantled the League of Armed Neutrality, thwarting Napoleon's ambitions in Northern Europe. Nelson was celebrated for his decisive role, further cementing his reputation as an unparalleled naval tactician. Nelson's actions during the battle exemplified his readiness to embrace risk and his capacity for making critical decisions under immense pressure. The Battle of Copenhagen also underscored the British sailors' discipline and valor, fighting tenaciously under Nelson's leadership. The political ramifications of the battle were significant. The attack on neutral Denmark sparked controversy but was justified as a strategic necessity against the French threat. The British government lauded Nelson's success, though the campaign raised complex questions about wartime diplomacy and strategy. In summary, the Battle of Copenhagen was a pivotal moment in the Napoleonic Wars, underscoring British naval superiority and Nelson's unmatched tactical expertise. It was a display of his daring, foresight, and unwavering dedication to Britain's cause, cementing his legacy as a legendary figure in naval history. The Copenhagen Campaign remains a testament to Nelson's extraordinary capabilities as a naval commander, demonstrating his strategic acumen, bravery, and commitment to victory against formidable odds. Renowned for his naval victories, Horatio Nelson also navigated a sea of personal challenges, with his health issues being particularly significant. Throughout his career, these challenges took a toll on him both physically and mentally, yet he persisted with unwavering courage and resolve. From the onset of his naval journey, Nelson grappled with seasickness, a common plight among sailors. However, as his career advanced, he confronted more severe health issues. A defining moment of Nelson's physical trials occurred during the Battle of Santa Cruz de Tenerife in 1797, where he sustained a serious arm injury. The resulting amputation of his right arm above the elbow was not only a physical loss but also an emotional and psychological blow. Despite this, Nelson displayed remarkable adaptability, quickly mastering the use of his left hand for writing and other tasks, refusing to allow this impairment to curtail his naval responsibilities. Nelson's health woes extended beyond his amputation. He frequently battled malaria, contracted during his travels in tropical regions. These bouts of illness were debilitating, yet Nelson's indomitable spirit saw him through these challenging periods. Another significant health issue was the loss of sight in his right eye, a consequence of an injury sustained in Corsica. This impairment affected his spatial awareness and depth perception, yet Nelson adeptly adjusted to this new reality, continuing to lead his fleet with effectiveness. Beyond physical ailments, Nelson also contended with the mental strains of naval warfare. Periods of depression and anxiety were not uncommon, particularly when he was away from the sea. The immense pressures of command and the weight of responsibility for his men's lives and the outcomes of battles bore heavily on him. In facing these health challenges, Nelson's spirit and commitment to his naval career never diminished. He continued to lead with the same vigor and bravery that marked his entire career. His ability to triumph over personal adversities became a key part of his legend, enhancing his heroic stature. Nelson's health struggles, juxtaposed against his fearless naval image, underscored his human vulnerability. His resilience in the face of these challenges was inspirational, showcasing his exceptional character and unwavering commitment to duty. Nelson's ability to lead despite personal hardships solidified his status not only as a military hero but also as a symbol of strength and perseverance. Alongside his celebrated naval career, Nelson also faced personal controversies that captured public attention. Among these, his relationship with Emma Hamilton stood out. Emma, married to Sir William Hamilton, the British ambassador to Naples, met Nelson in the Mediterranean. Their friendship evolved into a romantic affair that became a major talking point. This relationship was controversial for several reasons. Both Nelson and Emma were married at the time, and their affair was viewed as a transgression of social and moral norms. Emma's allure and her liaison with Nelson, a national icon, fueled widespread fascination and gossip. The affair impacted Nelson's reputation and career. While his naval triumphs were celebrated, his personal life came under scrutiny and criticism. Despite this, Nelson's devotion to Emma was steadfast, reflecting his deep affection and commitment. Nelson's affair also strained his marriage with Fanny, leading to their eventual separation. This development was particularly painful, unfolding under the public eye. Nelson's personal life, as much as his naval achievements, became a subject of public interest. In addition, Nelson faced controversies related to his political views and involvement. His forthright opinions sometimes clashed with political leaders and public figures, unusual for a naval officer of his standing. Despite these personal controversies, Nelson remained a revered figure in Britain. His naval victories and leadership overshadowed the scandals in his private life. His relationship with Emma, while contentious, was also seen as a reflection of his capacity for deep affection and loyalty. Nelson's personal controversies added complexity to his image. Beyond his military accolades, his life was marked by intense relationships and strong emotions. His navigation through these personal challenges, alongside his naval responsibilities, revealed the multifaceted nature of his character, contributing to his legacy as a legendary naval commander. In 1805, as the Napoleonic Wars raged, the Battle of Trafalgar loomed on the horizon, destined to become one of history's most significant naval confrontations. At the heart of this impending battle was Horatio Nelson, appointed to command the British fleet tasked with thwarting the combined forces of the French and Spanish navies. This battle was crucial, poised to foil Napoleon's ambitious plans to invade Britain and dominate Europe. The construction of the fleet for Trafalgar was a monumental endeavor. Nelson's armada comprised 27 ships of the line, each meticulously chosen for its robustness, firepower, and size. These vessels represented the Royal Navy's finest, armed with formidable cannons and crewed by seasoned sailors. Preparing the fleet transcended the mere physical readiness of the ships, it encompassed the comprehensive training and preparedness of the crews. Nelson, understanding the pivotal role of his sailors, prioritized their rigorous training. He was well aware that the battle's outcome would hinge not only on the ships but also on the sailors' skill and morale. The crew engaged in extensive drills, honing their gunnery, tactical maneuvering, and naval combat techniques. Nelson cultivated a spirit of unity and pride among his men, believing that a motivated and well-trained crew was as vital as a sturdy ship. Strategic planning was another focal point of Nelson's preparations. He invested significant time in analyzing potential strategies of the French and Spanish fleets, crafting his own tactical responses. Renowned for his innovative approach to naval warfare, Nelson devised a plan he believed would secure a tactical edge in the upcoming battle. Gathering intelligence about the enemy's movements and strategies was also crucial. Nelson and his officers collected and analyzed information from various sources, aiming to ascertain the strength and position of the French and Spanish fleets. This intelligence was critical in shaping Nelson's strategic decisions. Ensuring the fleet was well stocked with necessary supplies and provisions, including food, water, medical supplies, and ammunition, was also integral to the preparations. Nelson was acutely aware that the physical and psychological well-being of his sailors was key to maintaining their combat effectiveness. The preparations for the Battle of Trafalgar, under Nelson's astute leadership, transformed the fleet into an imposing force, ready to confront the enemy. The meticulousness of these preparations was indicative of the British Navy's proficiency and Nelson's commitment to excellence. As the Battle of Trafalgar drew near, several pivotal moments underscored the significance of the preparations. Nelson's strategic decision to break from traditional naval battle formations and attack the Franco-Spanish fleet perpendicularly was a game-changer. This tactic, known as crossing the T, was audacious and unconventional, with the potential to slice through enemy lines and sow confusion. The gathering of intelligence was another critical aspect of the preparations. Meticulous information gathering enabled Nelson to precisely time his attack, crucial for executing his innovative strategy. The final briefing with his fleet's captains was a momentous occasion. Nelson's meeting on HMS Victory was more than a tactical discussion, it was a platform for him to inspire and embolden his men, showcasing his exceptional leadership. A defining moment during the preparations was the issuance of Nelson's Touch. These concise battle instructions encapsulated Nelson's tactical plan, granting his captains the autonomy to adapt as the battle unfolded, reflecting his confidence in their abilities and judgment. The eve of the battle was charged with anticipation. The British fleet, primed for the impending confrontation, was bolstered by Nelson's leadership, which radiated calm and resolve. On the morning of October 21, 1805, the British fleet, meticulously prepared and strategically positioned, was ready to engage the enemy off the Spanish coast. Leading the charge on HMS Victory, Nelson signaled his famous message, setting the stage for a battle that would be etched in history. The preparations for the Battle of Trafalgar, marked by strategic acumen, thorough training, and inspirational leadership, laid the groundwork for one of history's most decisive naval engagements, highlighting the culmination of Nelson's tactical brilliance and the readiness of the British fleet. On October 21, 1805, the Battle of Trafalgar commenced, marking a pivotal chapter in naval history. Horatio Nelson, at the helm of the British fleet, faced off against the combined forces of the French and Spanish navies. This critical battle was key to establishing British naval supremacy and disrupting Napoleon's European conquests. Nelson's approach, dividing his fleet into two columns to engage the enemy in a perpendicular assault, was both audacious and innovative. As the battle began, the sea became a cacophony of cannon fire and the shouts of sailors. Leading the charge, Nelson's flagship, HMS Victory, cut through the waves towards the enemy fleet. The Franco-Spanish fleet, caught off guard by the British tactic, scrambled to mount a defense. Traditional parallel battle lines gave way to chaotic, close-quarter combat. The British ships, piercing the enemy lines, caused disarray within the Franco-Spanish fleet, allowing for more intimate and devastating combat. Amidst the smoke and the shattering of wood, the might of the British Navy was unleashed. Nelson's leadership was a beacon of calm and resolve in the midst of battle. From the deck of HMS Victory, he directed his fleet, his presence inspiring his sailors. The strategy of close engagement led to intense and perilous combat, with both sides enduring severe damage. The British sailors, a testament to Nelson's training and leadership, fought with exceptional bravery and precision. Skillfully navigating their ships, they unleashed their firepower with devastating effect. The discipline and unity fostered by Nelson were evident as the British fleet operated as a cohesive unit. The HMS Victory found itself locked in fierce combat with key enemy vessels, including the French flagship Bucentaur and the formidable Spanish ship Redoutable. The exchange of fire was relentless, with both sides fiercely battling for supremacy. Throughout the chaos of battle, the British fleet's resolve never wavered. Driven by Nelson's strategic vision and their own indomitable spirit, they pushed forward, turning the tide of battle in their favor. The Battle of Trafalgar was not just a clash of naval forces but a demonstration of courage, strategy, and resilience. Amidst the thundering cannons and the tumultuous sea, the British fleet, guided by Nelson's expertise, etched this day into history as a monumental victory for Britain. Several moments during the Battle of Trafalgar were critical in shaping its outcome and cementing Nelson's legacy. HMS Victory's bold breach of the enemy line was a crucial point in the battle. This maneuver, under Nelson's direct command, brought the British into close engagement with the enemy, maximizing their firepower. The capture of the French flagship Bucentaur marked a significant victory for the British. After a relentless onslaught, the Bucentaur succumbed, signaling a major defeat for the Franco-Spanish fleet. Amid the battle, a poignant and tragic moment occurred when Nelson was struck by a sniper's bullet. Despite his mortal wound, he remained focused on the battle, embodying his dedication to duty. Nelson's injury deeply affected the British fleet, yet his spirit and leadership continued to inspire them. The surrender of the Redoutable, following a fierce confrontation, was another turning point. The ship's capture underscored the British fleet's superiority and the efficacy of Nelson's tactics. Throughout the battle, the British fleet capitalized on their advantage, capturing or destroying numerous enemy vessels. Their superior naval skills, coupled with rigorous training and discipline, were evident as they outmaneuvered and outgunned the larger Franco-Spanish fleet. The battle culminated in a resounding British victory, significantly weakening Napoleon's naval power and halting his invasion plans. This triumph solidified British naval dominance for years to come. The Battle of Trafalgar, with its key moments and outcomes, not only affirmed Nelson's status as a preeminent naval commander but also altered the course of the Napoleonic Wars. His tactics, coupled with the courage of his sailors, crafted a legendary narrative of British naval prowess. The victory, while a moment of triumph, was also tinged with sorrow as Britain mourned the loss of Nelson, a hero whose bravery and leadership left an indelible mark on history. The death of Horatio Nelson, a figure of monumental stature in British naval history, occurred amidst the tumult and valor of the Battle of Trafalgar on October 21, 1805. His passing not only marked the conclusion of a remarkable career but also left an indelible mark on the nation and naval warfare. During the intense battle, Nelson, aboard HMS Victory, was leading from the forefront, a testament to his bravery. Dressed in his full uniform, adorned with medals, he was both an inspirational and conspicuous presence. It was this visibility that led to his tragic fate when a French sharpshooter, stationed on the Redoutable, targeted and shot him. The bullet struck Nelson in the shoulder and traversed his spine, a wound that proved fatal. Even as he lay gravely injured, Nelson's focus remained steadfast on the battle and the welfare of his fleet. Carried below to the orlop deck, he continued to inquire about the battle's progress, embodying his lifelong dedication to duty. In these final hours, Nelson reflected on both his professional achievements and personal affections, expressing his love for his country, Emma Hamilton, and their daughter. Surrounded by his officers and close companions, Nelson's thoughts lingered on the sailors and the outcome of the battle. His final words, "Thank God I have done my duty," resonated with a lifetime of service and commitment, becoming a hallmark of his legacy. Nelson's death, occurring at the zenith of his career and in the midst of a pivotal victory at Trafalgar, was a moment of profound significance. His demise was deeply felt across Britain, where he was revered as a symbol of naval might and national resilience. The injury and passing of Horatio Nelson were characterized by personal valor, unwavering professional dedication, and a sense of national tragedy. His end during the Battle of Trafalgar was not merely the close of an extraordinary life but a moment that captured the essence of an era. Nelson's commitment to his duty and country, upheld until his final breath, left a lasting imprint on naval history and set a benchmark for leadership and sacrifice. The aftermath of Horatio Nelson's death at the Battle of Trafalgar had far-reaching consequences, cementing his legacy as an iconic figure in British naval history. Nelson's demise, while a time of great mourning, also served to solidify his status as a national hero. His leadership, courage, and strategic acumen, epitomized in his ultimate sacrifice at Trafalgar, became a source of inspiration and national pride. Nelson's influence on naval warfare was profound and enduring. His innovative tactics, especially the daring maneuver at Trafalgar, revolutionized naval combat. His aggressive strategy, favoring close-quarter engagements and breaking conventional line-of-battle tactics, not only brought him success during his lifetime but also shaped naval tactics in subsequent years. Nelson's style of leadership left a lasting impact on the Royal Navy. Admired and respected by his sailors and officers, Nelson was celebrated for his ability to motivate and inspire, in addition to his naval prowess. His personal bravery, concern for his crew, and strong sense of duty fostered loyalty and pride, contributing significantly to their effectiveness in battle. Beyond his military achievements, Nelson emerged as a national symbol of valor and patriotism. His death was widely mourned, and he was honored through various memorials, including the iconic Nelson's Column in Trafalgar Square, London. These memorials stand as enduring tributes to his service and sacrifice. Nelson's legacy extended beyond the Royal Navy. He captured the public's imagination, admired not only for his naval victories but also for his charismatic personality and personal life, including his affair with Emma Hamilton. His story has been the subject of numerous artistic and literary works, reflecting his lasting place in British culture. Nelson's victories, particularly at Trafalgar, played a crucial role in shaping British identity, reinforcing the nation's status as a dominant naval power. This sense of maritime supremacy and the pride associated with Nelson's triumphs became ingrained in the British national consciousness. In summary, Nelson's death marked the end of an extraordinary career and the genesis of a lasting legacy. His impact on naval warfare, leadership, and national identity rendered him a figure of enduring significance. Celebrated and studied to this day, Nelson's legacy continues to resonate, a testament to his remarkable life and profound influence on naval history, British culture, and national identity. His story remains a powerful exemplar of bravery, innovation, and commitment to duty. Horatio Nelson's leadership style in commanding the seas was revolutionary, setting a new benchmark in naval history. It was characterized by audacious decision-making, personal valor, and a profound connection with his sailors, transcending mere tactics and strategy to inspire those under his command. A hallmark of Nelson's leadership was his readiness to embrace risks. He frequently deployed unorthodox tactics, catching adversaries off guard and securing an upper hand. His decision at the Battle of Trafalgar to split his fleet into smaller groups, deviating from traditional naval strategies, exemplifies this. While risky, this tactic proved effective, facilitating a decisive British victory. Nelson was also known for his personal bravery. His preference to lead from the front, sharing the same risks as his sailors, earned him their deep respect and loyalty. He wasn't merely a commander issuing orders, he was a leader who stood alongside his men in the face of danger. This solidarity forged a robust bond between Nelson and his sailors. Effective communication was another cornerstone of Nelson's leadership. He had an innate ability to articulate his plans and intentions clearly. His use of signals during battles, notably the iconic "England expects that every man will do his duty" at Trafalgar, effectively conveyed his strategic objectives. Furthermore, Nelson valued and incorporated feedback from his officers, a practice that was relatively rare at the time. Morale was a key focus for Nelson. He understood its significance and actively worked to maintain it. His frequent interactions with his sailors, where he would listen to their concerns and ensure their well-being, made his men feel valued and respected, thereby inspiring peak performance. Nelson's concern for his crew extended beyond the battlefield. He advocated for improved living conditions and medical care, recognizing that the well-being of his sailors was essential for an effective fighting force. In summary, Horatio Nelson's leadership in naval command was multifaceted, blending tactical acumen with personal courage, clear communication, and genuine concern for his sailors. His propensity for risk-taking, coupled with his ability to inspire and motivate his crew, marked him as one of history's most respected and successful naval commanders. Nelson's leadership style not only brought him significant battle success but also earned him a lasting legacy as an exceptional leader and innovator in naval warfare. Horatio Nelson's ability to inspire and profoundly impact his crew was a defining element of his leadership. His approach went beyond executing naval tactics; it was about motivating and elevating his sailors to achieve greatness. Nelson's capacity to connect with his crew, fostering pride and duty, was one of his most distinguished leadership qualities. Nelson's presence among his crew was a source of motivation and morale. His practice of walking the decks, directly engaging with his sailors, and showing genuine interest in their lives made them feel respected and valued. This personal engagement led to heightened morale and loyalty, with Nelson's approachable and caring nature breaking down the barriers of rank. The trust Nelson placed in his sailors was a critical component of his inspirational leadership. He believed in their abilities and empowered them by delegating responsibilities, encouraging them to take the initiative. This trust fostered a sense of ownership and pride among the crew, motivating them to excel in their duties. Nelson's recognition of his sailors' efforts and bravery was another aspect of his leadership. He acknowledged their achievements, often highlighting them in his dispatches and reports. This recognition served as further inspiration, as the sailors knew their hard work and bravery were acknowledged and celebrated. Nelson was also known for his powerful speeches and messages. His words were chosen to boost spirits and emphasize the importance of duty. The famous signal at Trafalgar exemplifies this, a unifying and motivating message during a critical naval engagement. Concern for the welfare of his crew was evident in Nelson's efforts to improve living conditions and medical care. He understood the importance of their well-being for maintaining an effective fighting force, further strengthening the loyalty and respect his men had for him. The impact of Nelson's inspirational leadership on his crew was profound. His sailors were prepared to follow him into the most perilous battles, confident in his leadership and inspired by his commitment to their welfare. The respect and admiration Nelson garnered from his crew were unparalleled, and his leadership style became a model for future naval commanders. In summary, Horatio Nelson's inspirational leadership left a lasting imprint on his crew. His approach, characterized by personal engagement, trust, recognition, and concern for his sailors' welfare, not only secured victories but also won the hearts and minds of his men. Nelson's legacy as a leader extends beyond his tactical brilliance. It resides in the enduring loyalty, respect, and inspiration he instilled in those who served under him. Horatio Nelson's impact on naval warfare was transformative, marked by his adoption of innovative tactics and strategies that fundamentally altered how naval battles were conducted. His approach was characterized by audacity, ingenuity, and a profound understanding of naval dynamics, often catching enemies off guard and tipping the scales in his favor. Nelson's radical departure from traditional naval battle formations to a more aggressive and direct approach was a game-changer. He championed the tactic of breaking the enemy's line, a daring maneuver involving sailing his fleet perpendicularly through the enemy line. This allowed his ships to target the more vulnerable bow and stern of enemy vessels, maximizing damage. This tactic, exemplified in the Battle of Trafalgar, was crucial in securing a resounding victory for the British fleet. Additionally, Nelson recognized the value of smaller, nimbler ships capable of rapid and unexpected maneuvers, underscoring the importance of speed and flexibility over sheer size. His quick thinking and adaptability were pivotal advantages in battle. Nelson also advocated for close-quarter combat, believing that engaging the enemy at close range increased the likelihood of decisive outcomes. This required exceptional seamanship and gunnery skills, which Nelson ensured his sailors were well-versed in through rigorous training and preparation. His leadership style significantly influenced his tactical approach. Nelson championed a degree of autonomy for his captains, allowing for more dynamic and responsive actions in battle. This approach, often referred to as the Nelson touch, marked a shift from the rigid command structures typical of the era. Beyond battlefield tactics, Nelson utilized psychological warfare, leveraging his reputation to intimidate enemies and employing deception and surprise to outwit opponents. In summary, Nelson's influence on naval warfare was marked by bold tactics, the empowerment of individual commanders, and a shift to more dynamic and flexible combat methods. His legacy in naval history is reflected in the continued study and admiration of his tactics, which have had a lasting impact on naval strategy and tactics. Nelson's influence on naval warfare extended beyond his lifetime, leaving an enduring mark on both the Royal Navy and global naval tactics. His strategies and leadership style fundamentally changed naval combat, influencing naval training and strategy within the Royal Navy and beyond. The Royal Navy integrated Nelson's tactics into its naval doctrine, particularly his emphasis on aggression, maneuverability, and morale. His success validated these tactics, encouraging future commanders to adopt similar approaches, contributing to the Royal Navy's continued dominance. Nelson's focus on continuous training in gunnery, seamanship, and close-quarter combat became a hallmark of the Royal Navy, enhancing its professionalism and efficacy. Globally, Nelson's tactics influenced naval warfare in other countries, with commanders studying and incorporating his strategies into their own naval doctrines. His success against traditional line-of-battle tactics led to a re-evaluation of naval strategies worldwide. Nelson's leadership style, prioritizing morale and welfare, influenced how commanders led their crews, highlighting the significance of the human element in naval warfare. Additionally, Nelson's preference for agile, fast ships influenced naval ship design, leading to a shift in naval architecture prioritizing speed and maneuverability. Nelson's legacy also bolstered the mystique and prestige of the Royal Navy, becoming a part of British national identity and inspiring generations of naval officers. In summary, Nelson's influence on naval warfare was profound and enduring, reshaping naval tactics, ship design, and naval training. His contributions extended beyond his immediate victories, leaving a lasting legacy in naval history and the conduct of naval warfare. The legacy of Horatio Nelson, a venerated figure in British naval history, is perpetuated through numerous memorials and monuments, symbolizing his enduring impact. Across the United Kingdom and beyond, these tributes commemorate his extraordinary naval contributions and his profound influence on the nation. The most emblematic of these memorials is Nelson's Column in London's Trafalgar Square. Erected in 1843, this towering monument, over 50 meters tall, features a statue of Nelson himself, surveying the capital from its summit. Flanked by 4 majestic lions representing strength and courage, the column is a focal point in a space named after his most celebrated victory, serving as a beacon of national pride and remembrance. In Edinburgh, Scotland, the Nelson Monument on Calton Hill stands as another significant tribute. Resembling an upturned telescope, this structure honors Nelson's Trafalgar triumph. Completed in 1816, it includes a time ball, historically used to assist ships in setting their chronometers. Portsmouth's historic dockyard is home to the Nelson statue, situated near HMS Victory, the flagship that Nelson commanded at Trafalgar. This statue, in conjunction with the preserved HMS Victory, offers a poignant reminder of Nelson's naval tenure and his final victorious battle. Nelson's influence and legacy are acknowledged globally, with memorials in locales such as Barbados, Montreal, and Nevis in the Caribbean, where he once served. These international tributes highlight his far-reaching impact. Nelson's memory is also preserved through various cultural forms. His life and achievements are integral to British education, with his naval victories and leadership qualities taught to children. His story has inspired countless books, films, and artworks, further embedding his legacy into popular culture. Annual commemorations, especially on Trafalgar Day, celebrated on October 21st, keep Nelson's contributions alive. This day, marking the anniversary of the Battle of Trafalgar, features ceremonies and events, including parades and wreath-laying at Nelson's monuments, honoring his memory and celebrating his historical significance. In summary, the remembrance of Horatio Nelson through monuments and memorials is a vital aspect of British cultural heritage. These enduring symbols scattered across Britain and the world pay homage to his naval accomplishments, his leadership, and his role in shaping history. They ensure that Nelson's legacy continues to inspire and be celebrated, influencing future generations with his story of bravery, innovation, and dedication to duty. Horatio Nelson's lasting influence permeates modern times in several significant ways, transcending naval history to impact leadership, strategy, and national identity. His exceptional naval feats and charismatic persona continue to inspire and captivate. In naval warfare and military strategy, Nelson's tactics and leadership style remain subjects of study and admiration. His novel approach to naval battles, emphasizing speed, maneuverability, and decisive action, has influenced contemporary naval tactics. Military academies and historians study his battles to extract lessons on leadership, strategy, and combat. Nelson's leadership principles resonate in modern leadership and management theories. His style of empowering subordinates, fostering team spirit, and leading by example extends beyond military contexts. His focus on morale, personal courage, and strategic foresight align with valued qualities in contemporary leadership paradigms. Nelson's approach, balancing authority with empathy and collaboration, serves as a model for effective leadership across various fields. Nelson's legacy is deeply ingrained in British national identity. Celebrated as a national hero, he played a pivotal role in Britain's history. His victories, especially at Trafalgar, are regarded as defining moments securing Britain's naval dominance. As a symbol of courage and patriotism, Nelson remains a source of national pride. Culturally, Nelson's influence is widespread, reflected in artistic works, including literature, paintings, and films. These works explore not only his naval life but also his personality and character complexities, captivating public interest. Commemorative events, particularly Trafalgar Day, keep Nelson's memory vibrant. These occasions honor his achievements and reflect on the values he represented, serving as reminders of the importance of courage, determination, and commitment to a greater cause. In summary, Horatio Nelson's influence in modern times is multifaceted, impacting leadership, strategy, culture, and national identity. His enduring relevance inspires leaders, scholars, and individuals alike. His legacy, maintained through various forms of commemoration and study, continues to make him a timeless figure in naval history and broader societal contexts.